Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about why you shouldn't let romantic interests treat you differently. So, what I mean here is you shouldn't allow romantic interests to treat you in ways that you wouldn't allow other people to treat you. This is a problem that I used to have when I was a lot younger and naive, and I would basically allow a lot of girls and women to treat me in ways that I wouldn't even let my friends treat me, but I gave the girls a free pass because I liked them and I wanted them to like me, and it created just really dumb scenarios, and it wasn't good. And I wanted to make this video to basically address how you can avoid these pitfalls and create healthy foundations for relationships going forward. Because if you allow a romantic interest to treat you differently from the beginning, I can tell you that's going to create a horrible foundation for a relationship. It's basically like trying to build a house on quicksand when there's solid ground right over there. Why not go to the solid ground? Why would you try to build on quicksand? So in this video, I'll talk to you about how you can build a relationship foundation on solid ground. So the main thing you want to do is you don't want to give people a free pass just because you like them. You don't want to let them treat you differently just because you have feelings for them. That's really stupid. So here's a tip to go about dating that should help you in this regard, because everything starts in the dating process. The way you allow them to treat you when you're dating them is pretty much how they're going to treat you when you're in a relationship. So a lot of people go about dating in a really dumb way, and I used to do it, so I know what it's like. It's unfortunate, but a lot of people go about dating trying to impress the other person and make that other person like them. But this is stupid, because if you're always focusing on whether or not this other person likes you, then you never stop to actually ask yourself whether or not you like them. Because what if you don't? What if you find out that they're a shitty person and you just happen to be attracted to their looks, but their personality isn't great? It's like, okay, you may want to sleep with him, and that's understandable, but why would you want to go further than that? Why would you want to create a relationship with them? So you need to ask yourself whether or not you like them. You need to check in constantly throughout the dating process. As you learn more about them, ask yourself, do I still like this person? Or are red flags popping up, or other aspects about their personality that I may not like? And when you do that, it makes it a lot easier for you to not allow them to treat you differently, because then you're so focused on whether or not you like them, you're not going to give them free passes when they do things that you dislike. See, that's a problem. When too many people are trying to impress that other person or make that other person like them, this is when people become super lenient when that other person does things that they don't like. When they do bad behavior or when they overstep your boundaries, that's when people give them a free pass because, oh, they want that person to like them. But that's horrible, because then you're basically creating that foundation for a future relationship on the quicksand. You're not building it on a stable foundation, because you're allowing them to mistreat you from the beginning. Because yeah, letting them walk all over your boundaries is mistreating you, even if they're not like saying mean things to you or abusing you physically. That is mistreatment, because you shouldn't allow them to walk all over your boundaries. But that's on you to communicate and uphold them. So from the beginning, from the dating phase, do not let them walk over your boundaries. Communicate them when they happen to step over them. If they don't know about them, tell them, hey, this is a problem for me because that's a boundary. Don't do that again. And then if they do it again, they were warned. So now they knowingly did it, and you can judge them based on that. So it's really important that you do these things, that you communicate your boundaries, that you're always analyzing that other person to see whether or not you like them, and that you don't allow them to mistreat you or treat you in ways that you wouldn't allow other people to treat you. For instance, one thing that's really important to me is my time. So if a woman shows up to a date super late and she doesn't tell me she's going to be late and she doesn't offer any reasons, even if women are late in general, it annoys me, but especially so if they don't warn me about it and provide a valid reason. Some reasons are valid, but for the most part, if they're late, it's because they just had bad time management, and that doesn't sit right with me, because come on, people, you need to get your shit together. It's not hard to be on time to dates. But anyway, beyond that, what I'll usually do is I won't allow her to get away with that. I won't say, oh, it's okay, that's fine. Because if I did that, that would basically be me admitting, hey, I don't give a shit about my time, so feel free to waste it as much as you want. But no, that is not me. So if a woman shows up late and she has valid reasons, I'm never going to tell her that's okay, that's fine. Instead, I'll maybe just make a joke, I'll tease her, that sort of thing, but I'm never going to admit that it's fine for her to do that behavior. And if it's really egregious, I will straight up tell her, hey, that's not cool. Don't be that late or later on, or at least, well, not like that. I don't want to be demanding, but more so I'll tell her in the future, if you're going to be that late, at least let me know, or something. Give me some valid reason, because otherwise that's a huge boundary for me, and if you break it again, I'm probably going to have to stop seeing you. Just, you have to be straight up about your boundaries, because you need to value yourself and respect yourself enough that you're not going to let this other person treat you like shit or treat you in ways that you don't even allow your friends to treat you. It's so important. You see, here's the way you need to view relationships with romantic interest. You need to view them as the same way that you let everybody else treat you, all your other relationships. The only difference being that you allow the romantic interest to be romantic with you, so you have romance with them. That should be the only difference between your relationship with them and other people. So that way, you won't let the romantic interest treat you in a way that you wouldn't let your friends or your family or whoever else. Because the only difference between your relationship with that romantic interest and your friendships and your family members is that you do things with your romantic interest that you wouldn't do with your friends and family, obviously. But that should be the only difference. So don't let your romantic interests walk all over you just because you like them. Do not do that. That's so stupid. You can tell how much I get annoyed by that. And it's me speaking from experience, because I used to let women walk all over me, and it was just so pathetic because I was needy and insecure and I wanted them to like me. But now I realize that's all bullshit. All that matters is whether or not I like them. And if I like them a lot, then yeah, they respect my boundaries and they treat me in ways that I like, and I communicate that to them throughout the whole time, then I'll consider a relationship with her, a long-term relationship. But otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere. So you need to become really clear about your boundaries and what those breaking points are for you. And remember, you always have to communicate them, because you can't start judging the other person for breaking your boundaries if you never told them that those things are boundaries. They can't read your mind, so you need to communicate. But once you have communicated, if they then break your boundaries past that point, that's when you need to come to a decision and ask yourself whether it's egregious enough that you can't see them anymore, or whether or not you'll give them a little bit of leniency. But you have to address it. Don't just swipe it under the rug because you find them attractive and you want to fuck them or whatever. Don't do that. That's stupid, that's needy, so you have to address it, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling here, but I just get way too passionate about this stuff because I don't like people allowing themselves to be mistreated, because we don't realize how much control we have in relationships. The other person will only ever treat us in the ways that we allow them. Because as soon as you start upholding your boundaries and communicating what you like and dislike, that other person, if they really like you, they're going to uphold all of that. They're going to treat you in the ways that you like. They're not going to mistreat you. So it's just very important that you realize that you have this control over your relationships. You have that power. You just need to be confident enough and secure enough and respect and love yourself enough to communicate all these things to that potential partner, so that they won't do any of these things to you. They won't mistreat you. Anyway, I truly hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.